Hi, I'm CJ with the Florida Trail Stompers, bringing you your Tuesday tip of the week. Today, folks, we're going to touch on fluids of the vehicle. No matter if it's a car, pickup truck, Venom, off-road vehicles, it all will relate to that. I want to touch on oil. Very important. Lifeblood of the vehicle is the oil. Please check your owner's manual for capacities and type of oil to put in your vehicle. On the oil stick, pull it, wipe it off, put it back in, pull it out, read the oil level. It should be between the two lines that are on there. As far as viscosity goes, oil will break down over time, regardless if it's however much you use your vehicle. It's going to break down. Whatever the air filter for particulate doesn't take out of the air before it goes into the engine, guess where it's going, folks? Going into your oil. So it's just oil breakdown is what happens. What I recommend, like I do with Venom, every 3,000 miles I change this oil. I use the original oil filters from Mopar due to a situation that has happened that I have seen online, that some of these aftermarket type oil filters, the oil bypass valve that is built into them, sometimes fail. So I always prefer to replace my oil filter with a Mopar oil filter direct from Chrysler. Kept me out of trouble a lot. The other thing is radiator fluid. Yes, we may check it, but then again, what color is it? That tells you a lot about the life of the radiator fluid, the antifreeze. I recommend for antifreeze every year to 2 years to change it. Do a full flush. Put new stuff in it. And all that. Power steering. Make sure there's a max level and there's a low level. Please make sure you check that weekly, like all fluids. Weekly checks is what I recommend. Make sure those fluids are between the max and low areas of that. There is markings on the power steering reservoir, as long as the brakes, same thing. And the radiator. There is a high or max level, and then there's a mini. All the fluids should be within those two lines. Other than that, check your battery. Make sure there's no corrosion on those terminals over there. If they are, take a wire bristle brush, folks, and baking soda with a little bit of water mixture. Pour it on there. Never use soda of any kind. These new batteries, they have external vents. That soda gets in there, it will destroy that vent. And what I mean by destroying, it will make that vent become sticky, so it will not operate properly. Don't use any Coke products, Pepsi, Gatorade, whatever. Make sure you clean those terminals with baking soda and water and a wire brush. Dry it, put the connections back on, and then lube it up with your wheel bearing grease. Vaseline, put a good amount on there. Push it into all the crevices, it'll stop that from happening. Just like your brake fluid. When you check the brake fluid, not only just visually check it by shaking this or shaking the vehicle like some of us do to see where the level of the fluid is compared to the max line and lower line, look at it. Make sure it's like a honey color. We want that a nice honey color in there. We don't want black, we don't want dark brown. That's a sign of old fluid. Remember, folks, brake fluid is hygroscopic, as I said in my recent videos. Must be checked. If you don't know how to check that, there is, on Amazon, there is tools, looks like a little dipstick, that you can put in here. You press a button, you put it in, you take off the cover, put it in the fluid, bring it out. That's going to tell you a percentage of how much water is actually within the brake fluid. A little bit, okay. But make sure if that does come back 100%, it needs to be changed. It really does, because what will happen with brake fluid, since it's hygroscopic, It'll absorb that water from the atmosphere, and then it goes into the lines. And guess what, folks? You get rusted lines from the inside out. Very hard to find on a general mechanic's inspection. You actually have to test the fluid. Like I say, if you don't feel comfortable enough doing that, take it to your local mechanic. He will test that, no problem. It takes like 2 seconds. And all that. What I always suggest, and this is what I always go by, is every year or two, change your radiator fluid. Every 3,000 miles, change your oil. And check your battery, along with the brake fluid. Check the fluid level and what color it is. Other things to look for is, remember folks, our rigs have sometimes inner seals and sometimes inner and outer seals. Make sure you take off the top fill plug of your front and rear differential. Check the fluid inside. Just stick your finger in there. And I'll see where the fluid is. If you don't feel anything, fill it up. Look on the axles where they come out. See if there's any oil leakage there. If there is, you need to either get your inner seals fixed or replaced, or the outer seals replaced, depending on the type of vehicle you drive. Venom has only internal seals at the diffs, front and back. The 09 JKs do not have exterior seals where those shafts go into, just the insides. Check that. Transfer case. When did you check your transfer case fluid? What I recommend is at least once a year, if you do a lot of off-roading like I do with Venom. Change that fluid in that transfer case. Remember to check your owner's manual for the proper capacity and type of fluid that goes in there. A lot of them, they take transmission fluid, some of them take gear oil. It depends on your particular vehicle, but check that owner's manual. If you don't have the owner's manual, call the dealer. They'll be more than happy to help you with that. But make sure to do that. It's just for the longevity of the vehicle. It saves money because it is like a domino effect. But once things starts to break down, there's going to be a series of them that are going to break down. So we need to alleviate that by doing our weekly checks of the fluid levels and just a general observation of everything in the engine bay as well as under the drivetrain, whether it be the transfer case, diffs, rear diff, and all of that. And make sure one other thing, folks. I found out with Venom, I had to do a patch on the gas tank skid plate. Make sure you check that, because if you have a little rust hole, I guarantee you mud and everything else is going to get up in there. And remember, folks, on these Jeeps, they're polyurethane gas tanks. We don't want vibration with mud that is packed up in there to actually wear a hole in the gas tank. That could be very bad. So hopefully this all helps you out for the maintenance. Please feel free to contact me, email or Facebook. I'll be more than happy to help you and all that. And I hope that all this information I gave you today, as little as it was very helpful and beneficial for you all. You all take care. I hope to see you all on the trail soon. God bless you and your family, and take care. Until next time, I'm CJ.